Hey there, everyone. Will DuPree here in the KXAN live studio here with you all today. We, of course, are talking about Election Day. And all day today, we've been monitoring any issues, any problems, any long lines that have been reported out there in Travis County. So here to talk about some of the things we've been seeing today is our reporter, Alyssa Goard. Alyssa, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Will.
You had a lot to look into so far today. So first of all, just tell us kind of what you've been able to find out up to this point.
Well, the Travis County Clerk's office has had a lot to look into today. They said that going into this morning when the polls opened for Election Day, they had no plans that staffing was going to be a problem. However, just before 7 a.m., they started calling out to some of the polling locations and realized that the people who were working there weren't picking up. That alerted them to the fact that there was what they would soon discover to be a staffing shortage. So let me pull up what some of the numbers here show. In Travis County, there are 174 total voting centers, and 44 of those, the Travis County Clerk's office said, had some sort of issue Tuesday morning. And while they don't know exactly why there were so many people who didn't show up to work, those were a lot of no-shows that happened either between the election judges who were there or the actual poll workers. The Travis County Clerk's office does say that they have heard from people that a few didn't show up because they were fearful of coronavirus, and they were concerned about showing up to work on Election Day because of the coronavirus. And I want to be clear, that doesn't necessarily mean that that is why we saw all of the shortages that happened this morning across Travis County vote centers. However, that definitely did play a role in why there were some of those shortages. And the clerk's office says that within the first hour and a half of the polls being open this morning, they were able to get all 174 of those vote centers up and going. But that means for the folks who went out and tried to vote at 7 a.m. this morning or 8 a.m., many people actually were not able to vote until possibly even 9 a.m. or 9:34 when all of the vote centers were open.
All right. And how do we know, were they able to get everything back online with the appropriate number of poll workers and everything? How long did that take? I'm assuming that's why the lines kind of backed up getting that all ready.
Yeah, so they were able to get all 174 of those vote centers back online, but the staffing shortage still exists, and that's why the county clerk's office is asking folks, even now, if you have free time and you want to help out, they are still looking for poll workers to come and help out at different vote center locations, and we've included all the information. If you want to help them out, you can just give them a call. For poll workers, they get paid $10 an hour. For election judges, you get paid $12 an hour. But there definitely still is some ground to make up as a result of those staffing shortages, though all of the technical operations are still working. And I do want to make clear that we know that there are going to be long lines on Election Day, right?
Right, yes.
In November, when we had the election going on, folks were voting in Travis County all the way up until almost 10 p.m. because they had gotten in line around 7 p.m. right when the polls were about to close, and because they got in line before the polls closed, they had to wait way longer than probably what they would like to. And so there's a lot of locations, particularly grocery centers around Travis County, that tend to have these really long lines on Election Day, especially later on in the day. So if you haven't voted yet, it's likely that you're going to run into a long line.
But as long as you are in line by 7 o'clock, you can still stand there and wait until you get the chance to vote, even if it is, unfortunately, later in the evening.
That's right, yeah. Even if it takes until 10 p.m. or even later for you to get in there and cast your ballot, if you are in line before 7 p.m., you will get to vote in this March primary election.
All right, we had a chance earlier to talk to the Travis County Clerk. What was it that we were wanting to ask her about? Was it particularly about the possible coronavirus concerns and the delays that she was facing and seeing at the different polling sites?
Yeah, so our colleague Candy Rodriguez, who works mornings, actually had asked Travis County Clerk Dana DeBeauvoir about the coronavirus and whether she had any concerns because of it earlier this morning. Early for our morning shows, the county clerk said no, she wasn't concerned about it. But by the time the morning progressed, she had some different things to say. She told our colleague Candy Rodriguez that Yeah, that it's unfortunate that the coronavirus does seem to be having an impact on poll workers here in Travis County. Just the fear impacting people not wanting to show up or calling out and not actually coming to staff those vote centers. And so Candy went and asked Dana DeBeauvoir if she had a way to describe this particular start to Election Day as compared to others.
So let's take a listen to this soundbite that we got quickly from Dana DeBeauvoir, the Travis County Clerk, and we'll come back and talk afterwards.
If you had to describe the start of this morning's Election Day in one word, what would that word be and why?
It would be rocky. It would be rocky. Now, keep in mind that primary elections, Democratic primary and Republican primary, are always emotional, and they're always the most difficult elections that we produce. So it's not unusual to have some judges that are late or some things that don't go exactly the way you want them to at 7 a.m. on Election Day. That's commonplace, and we build in plans for that. This one was just a little bit extra of those typical problems. So.
And again, you just heard from Dana DeBeauvoir there, the Travis County Clerk, Alyssa, and her word to Candy was that this started off rocky, unfortunately.
Right,
Yeah.
and there were a number of different factors that led to, unfortunately, people who came earlier this morning waiting a really long time at the polls to actually vote. And one of those factors were the election judges. It's required to have election judges at vote centers in order to carry out votes. You need at least one Democratic judge and one Republican election judge as the Democratic and Republican primaries are going on. And what the county clerk's office says is that 11 election judges from the Democratic Party did not show up at the vote centers and did not alert anyone. And those judges typically come with a staff of 1 to 3 other people. And so that's a net loss of about 30 different staff members. The county clerk's office also said that in the past week, around 31 Republican Party election judges also dropped out, but those staffing shortages were a little bit more manageable because there was a little lead time so that the clerk's office could backfill. So in addition to missing out on poll workers, they also were missing the judges who are necessary to staff some of those centers.
If you're just joining us, reporter Alyssa Goard is here with me, Will DuPree, in the KXAN live studio, talking about different issues we've been seeing at the polling sites across Travis County in particular. Now, we have some more information on our website regarding other parts of our viewing area. That's on KXAN.com. But focusing just on Travis County, Alyssa, people can look up where the wait times are for the different polling sites all around the area. Explain where people can go and kind of find out that information.
That's right. You're going to want to go to votetravis.com. If you check out the website there, Travis County has actually boosted its staffing this election so that they can make sure that those updates are as accurate as possible. Check out this map. The green icons indicate that there's not a huge wait time. The yellow are kind of medium, and the red icons indicate there is a significant wait time. And there are definitely some polling places with really significant wait times right now. Currently, the Dan Ruiz Branch Library on Grove Boulevard is showing a 120-minute wait time, so that's a long wait if you're over there. If you have the time, you're going to want to check out votetravis.com, look at the wait times icons, and see if there's another polling place that might have a shorter wait time. You may be able to save some extra time in your day if you find another spot that's nearby you that won't have you waiting for quite as long. And as you can see from that map we showed you, there still are some places that have green that, at least on this map, are not showing a long wait right now. So you do have a shot at getting your vote in before 7 p.m. when the polls close and not having to wait in too huge of a line.
Yeah, I just want to show this. If there are a lot of red icons here, so long wait times, but if you look close by those places, there are other sites that do not have a wait time. So if you're able to move to a different location and maybe check out another polling site, there are lots and lots of them. So if you take a look at the map, that's an easy way to be able to find a shorter line and a quicker way to vote. I mean, take a look here. This one is the East 19th Street Missionary Baptist Church, 100 minutes wait time. And then just take a look down the street, right here at Region 13 Education Service Center, just a 10-minute wait. So again, something to consider and definitely a very helpful tool. Alyssa, mention again what that particular tool is.
It's votetravis.com. The county clerk's office helps put that together, and they have staffed extra employees to help make sure that they can give the most accurate real-time updates about the wait times at polling locations as possible. One thing the county clerk's office has been very vocal about is that in past years we've seen really long lines later on in the day during elections because people wait until the end of their workday on election day, head off to their nearest vote center to go and cast their ballot and wind up in the same line that everybody else is, likely in a grocery store. And that means it's a pain for you if you have to wait in a long line. And that also means that it takes longer for the votes to ultimately get back to the Travis County Clerk's office, which means it takes longer for all of us to know what the results are. So those long lines are painful for everyone involved.
In addition to highlighting the issues that people are seeing out there with long lines, Alyssa, you've been looking at the early vote count, or at least some of the turnout that's come in today. What are the numbers you're seeing at this point?
It's looking to be a really great turnout here in Travis County. In fact, Travis County Clerk Dana DeBeauvoir believes that we are on track to have record voter turnout for the March primaries right now. We're not quite up to that point yet. As of around 4 p.m., the Travis County Clerk's office said that a little more than 93,000 people had voted on Election Day today. So that's just counting Election Day. That's not including the early voting numbers. For comparison, in March of 2018 in Travis County, there were a little bit more than 70,000 people who cast their ballots in total in Travis County on Election Day. So already we have surpassed the 2018 March primary Election Day vote total numbers. And the county clerk's office really anticipates we're going to see some record-breaking numbers in terms of primary turnout as the evening carries on.
And a little less than 2 hours to go until polls close.
Right.
So the vote count will undoubtedly go up much higher than that. And it's pretty amazing to see that record turnout, though. It means a lot of people are out there getting to vote, which we like to see and we really do appreciate. For everyone who's just joining us, you are seeing reporter Alyssa Goard here joining me in the KXAN live studio. Alyssa, if you could tell people, we have crews all over the place at different watch parties, and we will be bringing them to you live here on our streaming platforms on Facebook, our website, KXAN.com, and the KXAN News app. But Alyssa will be hanging around here in the newsroom. Can you kind of tell people at home what you'll be looking into tonight? What will you be focusing on?
Yeah, so I'm going to continue to track what some of those wait times are at different polling locations. And if you see something, if you see a really long line, or if you see something that you have a question about, don't hesitate to reach out to us at KXAN because we want to be looking into that. The staffing shortage problems that we saw earlier on in the day in Travis County, we heard about because a lot of viewers wrote into KXAN and said, hey, I'm here at 7:30 a.m. and I still can't vote. And so your feedback definitely helps us. So I'm going to continue to track what the lines are looking like at those different vote centers all the way up until the polls close at 7 p.m.
All right. Well, again, that's Alyssa Goard joining me here in the KXAN live studio. We do appreciate you being here and kind of filling in everybody. There's a lot to look into tonight, so we'll be turning to you for lots of analysis, lots of reporting.
Thanks so much, Will.
Yeah, thank you, Alyssa. And thank you all for watching. Again, we will be streaming throughout the evening with some different experts, those here in-house at KXAN, as well as bringing in some people to talk to you all about what's happening tonight on Election Day here in Texas. Super Tuesday, 14 states in total are going to be voting today to decide, among many other races, who takes the lead potentially in the Democratic presidential field. So we're going to break that down, as well as the Senate race here in Texas. So please stay with us throughout the evening. We do appreciate you all watching, and we'll see you back here a little later tonight. Have a great one, everybody.